Hello everyone, let's play Makoto Wakaido's Case Files. I'm very excited. Again, the executioner linchpin. Oh, let's go. I do not know much about this game. No, it's a detective game. Otherwise, nothing really. Got it out of the detective Steam sale. And I'm looking forward to it. I love the art style already. Here, for the little one. You're always so nice. You didn't need to. I do, and you know it. Look at that little old guy there. Anyway, see ya. Sure, thanks. And he's off. Was that a friend of yours, Gramps? That's right, he even got you a little gift. Cool, thanks. Hey, won't you tell me another story from your detective days? Sure. Yeah, why not? Let me think. Remember that murder case I told you about? The load of martyrs one? Of course, you never got to catch the culprit, right? Right, but there's more to that story. We found a third victim. And that brought the case to its tragic end. Ooh. A third victim. And yet you still could not catch the person? Between 1981 and 1982, two murders took place in K City, H Prefecture, Japan. Kyoto City? It's H Prefecture. Both murder scenes showed the same gruesome sight. The victim had been decapitated and hung from a telephone pole. The investigation revealed that the two victims had something in common. They were devout members of the same religious group. Nevertheless, despite their best efforts, the police were unable to pinpoint the murderer. Until in 1983, yet another man was found dead under similar circumstances. The crime scene. Oh god, oh, okay, he's upside down. The move that makes him crack. Yeah, he's been strung upside down, there's some blood, as like a marking on the wall there. Let's have a chat with this guy first though. Hello! I'm Wakaido from the Prefectural Police. I'll be in charge of this case. Detective Wakaido, your reputation precedes you. I should hope so. I've already collected some information from the crime scene. Let me know if you need anything. Need to know anything even. The victim. Do we know who the poor fellow is? We haven't been able to confirm his identity since he's missing his head. We are currently investigating to find out more. Yeah. I mean, all of his facial features are gone. Maybe be able to get something from fingerprinting. The cause of death. Cause of death? Well, it's pretty obvious. We believe he was strangulated and decapitated after death. Oh, really? There's a little blood there. The modus operandi seems to be the same as in those two past murders. The victim was decapitated. The estimated time of death. Our best estimate is between yesterday 11 PM and today 2 AM. That's a pretty large gap, 3 hours. The body was found around 5 AM by a fisherman who happened to be passing by. Oh, I feel sorry for that fisherman. Did they only send you to the scene? No, sir, there's another officer with me. Feel free to ask him for any information as well. I'd better talk to the other cop too. Estimated time of death? Alright, and let's leave. Let's have a look at the body. See if there's anything that we can determine. I should listen to what the officers on the scene have to report. Alrighty, fine. We got a third guy over here. This is the fisherman. Hey! Detective Wakaido, wonderful to see you again. Why have we got the fisherman so close to the scene? You were on those two murders as well, right? I'm counting on you. Yes, sir. I'll help you however I can. Tell me the case. So, what do you make of all of this? You did it. You were there at all three crimes. The similarities for the case from last year and the year before that are obvious. It's either a killer who loves the macabre, or religion could be involved, right, because of the marking. How should I go about gathering info? You can read certain pieces of information on your notepad, and you'll be able to ask and find out more about them. Try it out on me, sir. Sure. I'll try raising a piece of info on my notepad, then talking to him again. Alrighty, so let's get to our notepad. How do we do that exactly? X. Tell me about the victim was decapitated, hey? Detective, we have another ghastly case on our hands. The body. Here we go. Tell me about what we know about the victim's body. Yes, sir, just as in the murders from last year and 2 years ago, the head has been removed. Do you know where it is? The victim was wearing slacks and a long coat. He was probably in his 40s. Are there any witnesses? One, sir, the fisherman who found the body. We've kept him for questioning. Victim, man, 40s, wearing coat. So now I can raise more things with you. The estimated time of death. Alrighty, tell me more about this. Detective, we have another ghastly case in our hands, right? Tell me about this. The murder took place at night, as I take it. That seems to be correct, exactly like in the previous cases. Well, I mean, it's the easiest time to do crime, right? Wonder what these serial murders are all about. Interesting. Alrighty, and then finally, let's ask about the victim. Detective. Oh, right. This is the same stuff. What do we know about the victim? Only what we can guess from his clothing. Not the red coat and leather shoes, both kind of worn out. Looks like a salesman and not a terribly successful one. Right. Now can I investigate the scene of the crime? There's some symbol drawn in blood. Symbol on the road sign. No half-staff to mourn this guy. Examine the body. Can we search his pockets? Suit pants and a long coat. Male, somewhere in his 40s. And getting much more info from this. Examine the surroundings. There's a candle in there. The body is hanging from a telephone pole, yes. Rather low telephone pole as well. I don't see any other of the victim's belongings around. But the candle? Has that just been left out the morning? Perhaps. Can I talk to you about this victim? No. Can I talk to you about anything? Yes, I can talk to the other cop about the symbol in the road sign. So let's have a look at that. Is it either one of the cops? Because they look the same. I see. Tell me about the symbol in the road sign. That symbol in the road sign, have you seen it before? I think there's some religious cult that uses a similar one. Really? Okay. And we might as well pull up a thing to ask the fisherman about, which is just the symbol. So let's have a chat with the fisherman now. Officer, I don't see the whole thing. I'd like to know more about that. What? You said you sailed the whole thing, but you didn't appear until whale after. What exactly did you see? I came by every morning for fishing, aight? But today I hear some heckin' noise, so go and take me a look. And out of nowhere comes a black something rushing past like mad. I say, what's that swaying thing? So take me one better look and it's some dead folk. That damn soon the old heart racing, let me tell ya. Alright, the black something. Tell me about this black something. What was the black thing that you saw? Ain't easy to say, being dark round and all. But it was pretty heckin' big. Must have been a man, tell you that much. Yeah, so it was like in the dark. Looked to me like he was fiddling with something, maybe a head. Man at the crime scene. And tell me about a road sign. Do you know anything about the symbol on the road sign? It's got my knees shaking is all I know. That's some cursed stuff you got there. Alright, you don't know too much about it. Who else knows about this here, man at the crime scene? We can ask the body about it. Let's do that. Excuse me, buddy, what do you know about this here? What's this? His coat pocket is bulging. I knew it. We should have checked his pocket earlier. But there's nothing inside. Someone must have taken whatever was in it. I'd better ask the local cops. Oh, I'm going to turn this down slightly. There we go. Alrighty. Hopefully that's good enough to actually hear. I'm going to turn it down to my... I didn't have the music on. So... victim's coat pocket. There we go. Alrighty, let's leave. Okay. What are you up to, my good friend? Right. We need to actually leave and then ask you about this thing in his pocket. Excuse me, copper? Dude, Wakaido, we were waiting for you, sir. The victim's belongings. Looks like something was taken out of the victim's pocket. Yes, sir. I was just informed of this. Forensics found something that belonged to the victim. It's a matchbox from a bar called Bacano. The victim probably visited that location shortly before his death. I wonder if they played Baccarat. A matchbox from a bar. That's what you would hope, right? We can still chat about this. Looks like something. Oh, right, we've already. Yeah. Why are you still doing this swaying thing then? Okay, we'll talk to everyone about Bacchanal. Or can talk about everyone in Bacchanal. Can we leave? Shift and enter to deduce. Alrighty, we've got some chess. Ooh, I like this. What can we find out about the case exactly? Well, we know a couple of things. He went to Bacchanal slightly before his death. We couldn't confirm the victim's identity, correct? Why is that? Because he was decapitated. The victim was decapitated. Yes, difficult to find who someone is when they're missing their head. Yes, indeed, sure. We know little about the victim, but at least we get enough for a generic description, yes. What kind of person was he? Well, he was a victim, man 40s, wearing clothes. Wearing coat. A man in his 40s wearing suit pants and a long coat, probably a businessman, though not a very successful one. We also have a witness who could be a potential subject. Who's our witness? The fisherman. I guess this is the tutorial, right? A man at the crime scene? The fisherman's testimony could prove a useful lead. And finally, we don't know the first thing about the culprit. All we can do is retrace the victim's steps. Thankfully, we got 2 clues on the crime scene. One is a symbol of a religious cult. The other is a piece of evidence that hints to a location the victim recently visited. What was that again? It was the matchbox from a bar. Exactly. Time to hit the bar for a round of questions. I agree, and play some Baccarat while we're there. Found a new location. Can we leave? I scrapped the info I'm not going to need anymore. So we got rid of all the stuff in our pockets, I see. Let's go wander to the bar, shall we? I wanted to check out my notebook, but the game won't let me when I'm traveling. Oh, lovely lady. Alrighty, what have we got? Just 3 items now. And then we can't talk to anyone about any of them. Right now. Bar Bacchanal. Right, so it's just a sign. Looks like Shinjuku, doesn't it? A little bit. May I? What do you need, handsome? We aren't open yet. Tell me about the murder. There's been a murder close by. Have you seen anyone shady around? Ah, that's how I describe most of our clientele. And we get new customers every day, so... Okay, so you've got nothing interesting to tell me. What about this booze? Can I drink some booze? I'm on the job right now. Okay, we can't drink some booze. What about the smoker? Welcome. We aren't open yet, though. Detective Wakaido, please. I have a few questions. Please, officer. Mine is a reputable and entirely legal establishment. Ah, you must be the manager. There's been a murder close by. Noticing anything out of the ordinary? A murder, huh? Around these parts we just call it Wednesday. Oh, that's a bit sad. There's that many murders, my good friend. I'm always holed up in here, but I doubt I saw anything that could help you. Really? Any suspicious customers, perhaps? The victim had a matchbox from a bar. Know anything about that? Don't reckon I do. I value my customers' privacy. Where do you get the matchboxes from? I can't just go and run my mouth about everything I see here. Please find yourself someone else to bother. Right, the barkeep won't collaborate. So can we chat with anyone about that? There's no one out this side. You can chat with a lady about it. She might be able to tell us some more if she suspects the bartender. What's the deal with that barkeep? He's a bit cold, I know. I hear money's a bit tight. Maybe a warm up to you if you order something expensive. Alrighty, well, let's do that then. Can I get some McKellen on the rocks, please? Yes. I would like to order a whole bottle. You know what? Give me a whole bottle. Oh, with pleasure. Thank you for your patronage. Let me know if I can help you with anything, officer. Sure. You can help me with a lot of things, my good friend. You can tell me about, relatively anything. The man with the matchbox. Tell me about the guy who took the matchbox. The matchbox, huh? I mean, that could be anyone. Alright, he was half of a strange couple of guys. One with a long coat and another with a weird robe on him. Ah, so the cult. They kept to themselves, were chatting to each other the whole time. It might be good to check out this religious sect. Akota was sitting next to them, so she might have caught something. Akota? That'd be the missing sitting over there. Doesn't run the place or anything, she's just an employee. Right. Tell me about the suspicious guest, Akota. If that is your real name. You got anything to tell me about the shitty guy's appearance? What did the two men look like? Do you remember their faces? What kind of people they were? Anything? Not really. I don't know how to think about it. The man in the long coat looked like an average salesman, right? So that's definitely our dead guy. The other one looked like a wizard or something. Seriously, he was wearing a robe and had this long beard. Believe me, he was so creepy. Just thinking about him is giving me the chills. So yeah, that's definitely a cult member. What about the conversation that they had? I wouldn't know. They were kind of whispering to each other. The bearded one with the rope did most of the talking. The one with the coat was hanging from his lips. Really? Okay. So he was definitely a more zealot-like type. And then the coat guy said he'd drank enough of the night and should head back to his hotel. The only hotel near here is the Toyo, so I think that's the one he was talking about. Right, so we can go investigate the Toyo later. But right now, let me just see if I can chat with you guys about anything. No. Alrighty. Well, let's go to the Toyo in that case then. Well, actually, there's some more that we would like to... Oh no, we can go to the hotel already. Let's go there. Prior to making any assumptions about anything. There's a camera here, so that might have caused something interesting in our search. Let's just note it. They have cameras. Maybe the CCTV recorded something useful. Perfect. So we might be able to ask the people about that later. We can ask him about the guests and the CCTV cameras. We'll not ask him about the guests first, see if he knows anything about them. Hello sir, welcome to the Toyo Hotel. Detective Wakaido, please. I want to ask about a murder that took place last night. Oh, you're with the police? I'll be happy to help you, officer. Tell me about anything suspicious. Did you notice anything suspicious? That's a very broad question. We welcome many guests here throughout the day, so... Are you looking for anyone in particular? Here, tell me about these two men. Did you see a couple of men coming here together? One was wearing a long coat and the other something like a robe. I think we do have a guest who often wears a long coat. A long-term guest to that. His name was, yes, Mr. Ida. Ooh, however, he did not come back to the hotel last night, so that might be our victim. I'm afraid I do not know anything about the man in the robe, however. Right, so he did not see the wizard. Let's ask him about the CCTV cameras. Can you show me the CCTV tapes? Certainly, please give me a minute. There's yesterday's images, so you can see the man in the coat leaving the hotel. Looks like he's meeting with someone, but it doesn't show who that is, not clearly. A middle-aged man with a long coat, that's our guy. Right. So we've got his face now. But what can we investigate on the computer? Anything? Can we find out more about Face Guy? How do I use this? Please enter the information you want to search for. Right, okay, so let's ask the computer about the coat man. Mr. Ida. Can you look up Ida and tell me his address? Yes, please wait. Information found. His home address is not far from here. Why did he stay long term in our hotel then? Ah, interesting. Maybe there was someone that he didn't like at home. Or maybe he was investigating something suspicious. Maybe he was also a detective. Can we go to his house now? No. Not a new location. Interesting. What other information do we have? Why? I need to ask around near his house, right? Why stay here then? Right, okay. Shall we go back to the bar? And see if we can ask around near about his house. I'm pretty sure I got all the information. Oh, we can deduce now. There we go. Didn't see that up the top there. I should be looking up there more often. Alrighty. Time to put together all the information I got. I retraced the victim's death through the bar and hotel. Got witnesses at the bar who saw a man taking a matchbox. Who did the barkeep see in the night of the murder? She saw the two suspicious guests. That's right, the victim wasn't alone. The barkeep said he was there with a wizard. Alrighty. After I got enough information from the bar, he visited the hotel. There I found the name that most likely belongs to the victim. What is the presumed victim's name? That's Ida. That man is Ida? Yes, the receptionist told me the man in the coat was called Ida. And finally, but not finally, at the bar they told me about the man who was there with the victim. How did this potential subject look? Where's Wizard? There. A man with robe and long beard. The people at the bar told me a man with a robe and long beard. And Gandalf. He's obviously gone off to see Sauron, right? What I still can't figure out is why Ida was staying at that hotel. Why is it so weird for him to stay there while he lives nearby? So I think there was something in his house that he was avoiding. His own home is very close to the hotel. Now that I know his address, I better go and check his house. Let's go. This is what I've been looking forward to. I scrapped the information I'm not going to need anymore. Right. Hopefully that's a fair lot. We've got a few locations to see yet, haven't we? 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, 5, okay. There's quite a lot more locations to go, hasn't it? Alrighty, well, let's go to Ida's apartment and see what's there. But we are moving rather quickly through this. So, who knows? Aha, there's a lady right here. Excuse me, young lady. Detective Wakaido, please, I'm investigating a murder. I need to see Ida's apartment. Oh, sure you do. Sure, go and look, sweetie. Oh dear, wait, did you say murder? Is Ida around? I've been worried about him, you know. It's been a few days since I last saw him. Really? Okay, tell me about him. What can you tell me about Ida, the man who lives here? Oh, Ida, he's a nice fellow. Nice and neat, yes. Really? Okay, neat. He couldn't get on anyone's wrong side if he tried, really. There's some blood in his sink, lady. Are these apartments rented? Oh no, we all own ours. Really? Okay. Ida and his missus has been living here for what, 10 years now? Lovely woman she is. Okay, so yeah, he did have a missus. So he might have been avoiding her? I've just been so gloomy since she was hospitalized. She was hospitalized, poor soul. Miss Ida is in the hospital. Maybe we can investigate the hospital. Where does Ida work? His wife told me it's Kazumoto Sales Agency, was it? Near the station, that is. Right. Kuzumoto Sales. Let's go there in a minute. But we can't ask people about that. There's a lot of blood in this here apartment. What do we have here? Would you look at this? Examine the scene. There's barely any furniture in here. Yeah, but there's a plastic sheet that's hiding a body. The plastic sheet kind of contained it, but there's a lot of blood. The victim got decapitated here, and then moved to the crime scene. The other scene. This is the crime scene if I ever saw one. Murder took place at Ida's. Yeah, there's a lot of blood at the other scene as well, so it's interesting that this bloody kept bleeding for so long. The murderer must have washed his bloody hands here. And we'll get a murder weapon. A saw. A bloodstained saw. This must have been through the victim's neck. Well, we know he got strangled first. No cheapo store either, brand stuff. There can't be that many stores carrying it. Oh, okay. So we can find out more information about potentially that from the detectives as well. Okay. Can we chat with this lady about anything? Well, yeah, let's talk about this man with the robe and a long beard, eh? The robed man. Did you happen to see a man with a long beard and a robe? Oh, I sure did. That was the last day I saw Ida, came to think of it. A robe and a beard, can you imagine? That's no proper folk, not at all rude. You're very judgmental. The apartment manager saw the suspect too. Right, okay, so he's definitely been around. Did you see where he went, perhaps? Do you know who the man in the robe is? You know about the Light of Martyrs cult, don't you, officer? They're followers that come and preach to our doors too. That fellow with the robe must be their head priest. I've seen his face before. On the telly, was it? Really? Okay. So we can investigate the cult now. Do we reckon we can find out where their headquarters are, or... excuse me. Is this Ida? It's the man in this picture, Ida. Oh yes, no mistake, that's Ida, right? Right, the victim is Ida. For sure. Can we show a picture of his robes, though? Kid was cut off with a saw, eh? What do you think about that? Do you know any shops with stores nearby? Any hardware store nearby? Oh yes, that there is. Sure is. That one, you know the one. Cat's Hand, was it? With a kitten logo. They sell this and that, and tools too, and hardware stuff. Right, Cat's Hand. Let's go to Bunnings. I don't trust Cat's Hand as a store. Ida's house is near the hotel. Ida's hotel stay. Looks like Ida was staying long term at the Toyota hotel near the station. Last month, was it? Ida told me he wanted to sell his apartment. Out of the blue, that was. I figured that maybe, you know, his missus had passed, so I didn't pry any further. No, sorry, fair enough. Though, it seems like he went in with the cult, and that's why he was staying outside of his house. He must have sold all his furniture, you know, so that's maybe that's why he was staying at the hotel. Yeah, his house is very bare bones. Ida was going to sell his house, though. That would explain why he was staying in that hotel. Right. I wonder if we can find any listing about his house. Potentially. Alrighty, let me have a look at anything else that I can chat with this lady about. No. Okay. Well, let's head off in that case then. To their shop and see if they can tell me anything about saws and saw appliances. What is the name of the shop, firstly? Because I doubt it's Cat's Hand, right? General store Cat's Hand. It is? Crazy. Crazy name for a hardware store, isn't it? There are a few kinds of saws at that play. Examine the saws firstly. There's so many brands. What about something between this house? What's this? A headpiece pendant. Oh, okay. So we can have a look at the head priest now. Welcome. Detective Wakaido. I'm investigating a murder case. Can you tell me who's bought saws recently? Murder? Well, that's a lot. Happy to help if I can. The saw. You sell saws here? We sure do. Anything from small DIY tools to professional woodworking instruments. Interesting. It was more professional. They're on that shelf over there. Okay, well, what can you tell me about any of this? This saw, perhaps. No, well, do we have to chat with the, Yes, then we can chat with the, register. That's a register. It's full of copies of receipts. Can we examine this? Hey, don't mess with the register. Okay, well, he doesn't want us to look at the register right now. Ah, we can look at the shelf of this. There we go. Ah, search a saw from that brand. The saw I found in the murder scene. It was a Shark brand saw, I believe. Good name for it. Saw band Shark. So... anything else we can chat with these fellows about? A man wearing a robe and a long beard. Well, we know the priest pendant wasn't here, so... he must have visited this store. Did a man with a robe and a long beard come? A robe and a long beard? Oh, right. He was here yesterday. He bought a saw, a plastic sheet, and some other stuff, so murder stuff. Right. He's got all the stuff for a murder. And yet, did you see this guy here as well? You know the man in this picture. I might be wrong, but I think it's a customer who's been here a few times. Interesting. Why, was he involved in that murder case? Yes. Did the man from the picture come here yesterday? No, I don't think he did. Do you have any cameras? Still, I could be wrong, yeah. I imagine you're not the only employee. Alrighty. No, he might be. Oh, we've got a few more things to talk to him about. Tell me about this cult. Are you part of it? Do you know anything about a cult called the Light of the Martyrs, my good friend? Don't know about any cults, but that name rings a bell. Must have read it on a receipt or something, really? Okay. Can we ask potentially the receipt about that? The pendant. I found this on the floor between the shelves. Do you know? What's that? Never seen it before. What can you tell me about the man with the robe? I remember he bought a bunch of stuff. I saw plastic sheets, duct tape, a pretty suspicious set of items, come to think of it. Certainly is. Why didn't you let the police know prior? The Shelburne Shark. Has anyone bought one of these saws recently? Shark saws? I've sold quite a few even in just the last few days. Do you have a list of the buyers? Nay, no such thing. Right, you wouldn't get their personal details if they're just buying a saw. Can we check the register for this? There's the register. It's full of copies of receipts. Can I examine these receipts? What's this? This receipt is Religious Association Light of Martyrs. There we go. So we now know that the Light of Martyrs, they're the ones that did it. Can we deduce anything right now? Yes, we can. We can also talk to this guy about the Light of Martyrs. Let's quickly do that. Oh, I've got the wrong one. Before we deduce anything. Do you remember about this receipt who made the purchase? Oh, that one, right. It was a guy wearing a robe, right? So the same guy. Alright, let's make that deduction now in that case. I doubt we can find out too much more information. Time to put together all the information I got. While retracing the steps of the man with the coat, I found out the victim's identity. Who was he? It was Ida. And we've got something that says that it was definitely Mr. Ida, right? The victim is Ida, yeah. The victim is Ida. Even the apartment manager confirmed it. She recognized the man in the picture taken by the hotel CCTV. And it's safe to assume that the man with the coat is Ida. Now the victim was killed and decapitated. Where did this happen? That happened at his house. We've got this, that says his house. This. Murder took place at Ida's. Ida's home showed evidence of a murder taking place. A lot of blood. Alrighty, the evidence showed that the murder happened at Ida's home. I found the saw that was used to decapitate the victim, and I learned more about the bearded man with the robe. What organization did he belong to? He belonged to the cult, which was called the Cult Light of Martyrs. I finally found out who the robe man is, well not yet. We haven't found his name or his identity. The saw used to decapitate the victim was purchased from the general store Pants Hand. And in the store I found some evidence bringing together the Light of Martyrs cult and the robe man who bought the saw. That was the Prince pendant. But does that really make sense? Right, okay. So I want something more than just the fact. We got the robe man bought a saw. What's exactly asking? Right, yeah, well, this. Receipt to Light of Martyrs. Light of Martyrs is involved in this matter, there's probably no doubt about that. I still can't see the connection between the cult and Ida. I can. Should go and visit his workplace. Right, let's go do that now. What was his workplace called again? Kumamurdo? I skipped that information I'm not going to need anymore. Maybe the land of the trees of the grottos? Alrighty, and his workplace. ASO. No more volcano. Who are you? I'm a detective. Wakaido, please, I'm here to ask about a Mr. Ida. I heard he worked here. Why would the police want to know about Ida? Tell me more about him. I'd like to know more about Ida, your employee. He used to be a very vigilant, straight-laced fellow, really. Why haven't he recently? He used to be? Just recently, he's only turned in his resignation. I tried to stop him, but he wouldn't listen. He said he'd got a call to faith or something. Right, so he became part of the cult. I knew it. Can you tell me about anything right now? Mrs. Ida. Did Ida ever tell you anything about his wife? Last year, I think it was, he told me she'd been hospitalized. Pretty serious condition. Wonder if she's still alive. And the treatment was going to cost him an arm and a leg. Well, what about a head? Every day after work, he'd go see her at the city hospital. Okay, we'll get a new location. Maybe we can talk to him about her husband. About the Light Martyrs. Do you know about the cult called Light Martyrs? That's the one that got Ida, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's pretty much all I know about it. So, he was definitely part of the cult. We know that for certain now. A man has been murdered, and that man is very likely to be Ida. What? Ida? He was never the type to get involved in anything like that. What? Murderers? What about trouble in the workplace? Any run-ins? Absolutely not. I couldn't even imagine it. Ida was kind and affable. He stayed clear of any kind of trouble. If anything, everyone was grateful for him. Who'd hold a grudge against someone like that? Ida was liked in the workplace. Really? Okay. Tell me about Ida selling his home. I've heard that Ida was going to sell his apartment. Did you know anything about this? Yes, I thought he needed to pay for his wife's treatment, so he was selling all his furniture. The rumors here said that he wanted to donate it all to that cult of his. Really? Okay. So he believed that the cult could help his wife and he was going to give them all of his worldly possessions. Alrighty, well, I've talked to you about everything. Let's chat with this young lady here. Alrighty, well, let's pull up something that we can chat with her about first. Probably Mrs. Ida. Detective Wakaido, the police, can I ask you a few questions about Ida? Mr. Ida, is he alright? Tell me about Ida's wife. Ida ever talked to you about his wife? Did he? He loved her so much he barely talked about anything else. And once she got hospitalized, you could see how much that got to him. It was a sorry sight. Oh, really? Okay. Or maybe we can find out more at the hospital. Please tell me what you know about Ida. He worked hard, but he never stood out much. And since his wife was hospitalized, he's been showing up less and less. Fair. I don't blame him at all. Tell me about the Light Martyrs cult. You know about a cult called the Light Martyrs? That's the cult Ida was a member of, right? I've heard rumors about their beliefs. I thought it better to keep my distance. Yeah, definitely. Mr. Ida was convinced that donating his house to the cult would cure his wife of her illness. Sounds like a huge scam if you ask me. Alright, the Light Martyr follower. Tell me about the victim. Ida might have been murdered. The man has been murdered, that man is very likely to be Ida. And Mr. Ida? But why? He was such a good man, maybe too good to even see the evil in other people. Yeah, perhaps. I think he trusted the cult too much. But murdered? I'm at a loss for words. If you like games about cults, check out my playthrough of Sagebrush. Real good. A bit on the heavy side. Have you ever seen this symbol? This is not exactly like that, but all members of the cult wear a similar pendant. Have you ever been to their church? Ida invited me to one of their meetings once. Really, you went along? I ended up not going, but you still should have the flyer with their address. Oh, interesting. So we can go. Potentially after a little bit of a deduction. Tell me about... Okay, I can't talk to you about anything else, young lady. But what we can do is travel. And we want to travel over to the hospital to potentially have a chat with the wife. Excuse me, miss, are you here? There's a doctor here. What else can we talk to? Ah, she is still alive. Okay, so we've got 2 people here. Let's pull up something that we can potentially talk to them about. Let's talk to the wife first. Detective Wakaido, please. So you Mrs. Ida. Did anything happen to my husband? Yes. So assuming that his plans to donate the house to the cult is news to you as well? I can't believe he'd ever do something like that. Right, so she doesn't know much about him wanting to donate the house. Ida was very attached to you. Your husband was known by his colleagues for how much he loved you. I see. He put everything on the line for my sake. I don't understand how this could have happened to him. Right. Anything about his recent behaviour? Have you ever noticed anything abnormal in your husband's behaviour as of late? For one thing, he's been looking really stressed out for the past few weeks, probably about the cult. He used to come see me every day, but now he won't even answer my calls. Really? Is he alright? No. He is not alright, unfortunately. He's lost his head. Ida was a cult follower. Thing is, he was a member of that cult. If he was, I'm sure he'd told me. Well, a cult, don't necessarily tell your family about it. Anything I can talk to the doctor about? Yes. I can talk to her about Mrs. Ida. Can I help you? Detective Wakaido, with the police, I believe there is a Mrs. Ida here. I need to talk about her husband. Oh, Ida, she's staying with us, yes. Is there anything I should know about? Tell me about Ida. I'd like to hear about Mrs. Ida's husband. Since she's been staying with us, her husband has come to see her every single day. But he hasn't showed up yesterday. Apparently he's not answering her calls either. She's very worried. Yes, I would be worried too. Tell me about Mrs. Ida's illness. If I left untreated, she would die within a year. She needs to be hospitalized and receive constant medical attention. Doesn't Japan have free medical stuff? Insurance doesn't cover this kind of treatment, so it's bound to be expensive. Right. Yeah, and Japan doesn't cover it. That's slightly unusual. What do you know about this cult? Do you know anything about a cult called the Light of the Martyrs? I've heard the name, yes, but that's as much as I do know. Right. What can you tell me about the Light of the Martyrs? Are you familiar with the cult called the Light of the Martyrs? Never even heard about it. What does that have to do with my husband anyway? Well, I didn't think they should be able to tell me about it. Ida might have been murdered. It's very likely that Miss Ida had been murdered. Really? That's most unfortunate. Who is going to pay for his wife now? Probably me, unfortunately. Oh yeah, so I have to let his wife know the bad news. They might have been murdered. I'm a modified man, but it's very likely that your husband has been murdered. What? That's impossible. Why would anyone murder him? He never hurt a fly. Something to do with the cult. I potentially believe that he would go to heaven or something like that. Righty. Well, we've only got the one thing to talk about, the selling house. Have you heard about his plans to sell the house? Not one word. They leave all money matters to him. Right. So, she did not know about it. Well, let's talk to him about Mrs. Ida. The treatment expenses. How much have they had to pay? Been paying for it? Yes, so far Mr. Ida has been paying all the bills on time without fail. And what if he stopped? Then I'm afraid we'd have to discharge her. Right, medical bills too much for Ida. So yeah, he was looking at alternative methods to help his wife, perhaps. Let's check the wife about this, eh? How you're paying for treatment? How are you paying for your treatment? My husband always took care of it. He even bought life insurance just in case. All for my sake. Right, Ida had bought life insurance, right? So the life insurance might pay out after the murder. Alrighty. Have we got all the leads? Yeah. But maybe he left his life insurance to the cult now, that he's part of it. I'll find out. Don't be quick to get there. I get a clear picture of Ida's situation prior to the murder. That is what Pacer is seen as a good, diligent man. The only thing troubling him was his wife's illness. What about this? Was he concerned about the fact that she would almost die? Yeah. Most either is badly ill. The other thing that I was thinking is the money. Hey, the medical bills, right? His wife needs constant medical attention to stay alive. Paying for this treatment must have been a huge toll on Ida's finances. Indeed, I agree. Talking to his colleague made something else clear. Ida got involved with the cult and started showing up less frequently at work. He became convinced that Faith could save his wife. He even hired a cult flyer to that same colleague. How was he involved with the Light of Martyrs cult? He was a zealot, right? He was a follower. Even at work, there was no secret that Ida was a cult member. In light of his wife's illness, Faith was probably the only straw he could grasp at. Indeed. But I do feel sorry for him. Ida was known for how much he loved his wife. He visited her at the hospital every single day of work. His life testimony makes me think the two spoke a lot during those visits. But there was something that he never told her about. Why did he keep his wife in the dark about Ida was selling his house? Wife didn't know he was in a cult. All his colleagues knew that Ida was a cult member, but somehow his wife didn't, so he kept it secret. Most likely he didn't want him to worry. Yeah, he didn't want him to go up to his wife and be like, hey, I'm in a cult right now. I know that I'm in a cult. Ida was planning to sell his house. I'd assumed he'd use the proceeds to pay for his wife's medical bills, but it was wrong. What is he planning to do with the house? Gift it to the cult. Wanted to gift the house to the cult. I'd have probably felt like he was in the middle of a long dark tunnel. And the light he saw at the end of it was the Light of Martyrs. It's pretty clear they're involved somehow. I need to get some hard proof to show the cult had a hand in this. Can we go to the cult now, perhaps? Yes, we can. Let's go to church and see what we can find out about, potentially, this cult. The cult church. Where's this man with the long beard, eh? There he is on the good old picture there. May the light of the martyrs shine. Welcome to the Church of the Light of the Martyrs. If you wish to be enlightened about our faith, feel free to ask me. What is the Light of the Martyrs? We of the Light of the Martyrs believe in the spirit of self-sacrifice. Sacrificing oneself is the key that will lead humanity to its next stage. Well, I didn't sacrifice himself, that's for sure. Who's the head priest? Our head priest is the Venerable Sacha, the first martyr. Where is Sacha at the moment, eh? What's the first martyr? Right as the world was falling into darkness, the Venerable Sacha became a martyr. He decapitated himself and through the sacrifice rescued the world. We all owe our lives to him, so they decapitated themselves as a symbol of faith. Yeah, religious belief, self-decapitation, but he did not decapitate himself because he was strangled first and foremost. Tell me about the head priest and whether he wears this pendant. The drop pendant. Do you know this pendant? Did somebody drop it? I'm afraid it's not mine. So she does not know about it. Does not know about much of this. She does know about self-decapitation though. He cut off his own head? Let me get this straight. The head priest saved the world by cutting off his own head. Precisely, he has saved all of us by decapitating himself twice in the past, really? You can't be serious. Say what you will, but I have seen the Venerable Sacha with his head cut off with my very own eyes, really. It was a dreadful sight to witness, but then he came back to life. So maybe he's using other people's heads as like a, grotesque display that he can come back to life after cutting his own head. Sacha died twice. There's Sacha here. A long beard and a robe. Is this the head priest? Right. I do agree. Now, a young man that is sitting here. Tell me what you know about this man. May I ask you something? May the light of the martyrs shine. The spirit of self-sacrifice will change the world. Okay, so this guy's just a cultist. Aha, may the light of the martyrs shine. Self-sacrifice, yes, if you sacrifice yourself, any wish can come true. I doubt any wish can come true. You're a member of this cult too. Of course I am. Since I joined the Light of Martyrs, everything in my life has started going well. Everything! Yeah, but you admit that it's a cult. Coming to church every day is what has made me as happy as I am. Right, he's visiting church daily. Got any wish granted, perhaps? While you were here? I sure did. My parents, who come from a long line of artisans, of Plymouth perhaps, were constantly pressuring and abusing me, and I wished for them to stop. But as soon as I sacrificed this finger from my right hand, all the abuse stopped. Well, that's because they saw you, you'd harmed yourself, and they didn't want to harm yourself further. Right, you sacrificed your finger. Exactly. It was a venerable Sacha, the Martyr of Miracles himself, who cut off my right index finger. It was the greatest of honor. Really? Okay. Actually, no, I want to show you this picture. This man is called Ida. Have you ever seen him? I have, yes. He wasn't that consistent with his wishes at the church, however. But I have seen him talk with both the venerable Sacha and the later Grand Priest. Really? Okay. Can I talk to you about anything else? Yes, this pendant. Made the light. Right. Have you ever been to a shop called Cat's Hand? I do not visit any indecent shops. Well, it's not indecent, it's a hardware store, my good friend. You do not need to be worried about a hardware store. We can talk to the lady about portrait of such a. But before we do, let's talk to this fellow. Made the light, right. I'm the lesser Grand Priest. Let me know if you wish to join us or make a donation. You're asking for donations? We never ask for anything. Our followers simply decide to sacrifice themselves and their belongings out of their own volition. Self-sacrifice offers the path to understanding the world's truth. Sacrifice everything and you too may be blessed with the vulnerable Sacha's sacred light. Right, what about this picture? This man is called Ida. Have you seen him around here? We are visited daily by droves of followers wishing to see the venerable sutler. It's difficult to say. But that guy just said that you've been visited by both him and by the other person. Right. Tell me about this pendant. Does this belong to your church? Where did you find this? This is a symbol from the Light of the Martyrs. I'm positive that it is ours. However, it's slightly different from the ones we wear. Could it be the head priest's? Right. So it's such as. What about this saw? Do you know anything about it? You're all involved in a murder. This proves your cult is involved in a murder case. Your cult aren't praying its way out of this one, bud. Catch my drift? You foolish heretic, you do not understand the venerable Sacha. He does what must be done, nothing more and nothing less, like by a sword. He would never murder anyone. Begone, stop lying. Are you going to arrest us all? I've done nothing, I know nothing. Right. Tell me where Sacha is. Tell me where Sacha is. No way to contact him. All we can do is keep sacrificing ourselves and praying into his much-awaited safe return. I was so worried that I personally visited his house, but he wasn't there. What's his house address? Can you tell me that at least? Just this one. We got testimony that he'd spoken to you previously. You spoke with Sacha. What do your followers said that he's seen you and Sacha talk to Ida? The head priest tonight? Oh yes, I remember now. Mr. Ida wanted to donate his house and make a special sacrifice, so introduced him to the venerable Sacha. Finally, I linked between Ida and that bearded bozo. He was very passionate as he spoke to the head priest. They even left the church together yesterday, right? And then Sacha cut his head off. Right. They left together on the day of the murder, and Sacha hasn't come back yet. What's the special sacrifice? Was it about the house? The greater one's wish, the stronger their resolve must be in order to have it granted. Self-sacrifice is proof of that resolve. It can take on any one of the several shapes. For example, as first martyr, the venerable sufferer sacrificed his priceless life. God thought it was necessary for him to come back to life, and so he did. He is the only person to have ever reached the next stage. What did Ida end up sacrificing? That is between him and the head priest. Right. Well, perhaps you can tell me where the head priest lives now. Otherwise I will arrest you for not telling me everything that you know. Well, let's chat with this lady about this portrait. Alright. Who's this portrait of? That is the first mother, the venerable Satya. Right. Yes, we know that this is of Satya. Long beard robe. Found at the scene of every crime. No, nothing else already. Well, we want to travel in that case. Where else have we got? Nowhere. Maybe we can make a deduction. We got enough to make a deduction at the moment. I probably can get some more info. Oh. Well, we've asked everyone about everything, but maybe we haven't asked this guy about everything. I want to meet the head priest. The head priest left yesterday and is not returning yet. He said he was seeking new places but to sacrifice his venerable self. I'm afraid he will not be back anytime soon. Right, he has no alibi. Okay, there we go. Okay, so shift and enter to be able to deduce. Now let's go find out where this guy is. We don't actually know yet. Maybe his house? Right. The man who's been sitting along and around the crime scene wearing a long beard and robe. Who was he? That was Satya, the head priest. But does it? Yes, it does make sense. Do I have to put in that it was this one? Yeah. Remember, Satya, head priest of the light of marches, yes. So you have to find the exact piece of evidence. Its cult believes in salvation through self-sacrifice, and the gruesome absurd belief is that you can cut off your own head. The cult doctrine is centered around self-sacrifice. Even though by cutting your head off, what a joke. They're most likely involved in this case, and in the 2 past murders as well. I like that the grandpa is telling this young boy about this very gruesome murder. One of the cult's followers said that he's seen Satya and Ida talk with each other, and I've also found solid proof of Satya's involvement in this case at that general store. What's that piece of proof? General store. Right, was it the pendant Satya's? This pendant belonged to Satya. He must have dropped it when he was shopping for the store. And finally, I got you a testimony regarding what he did on the day of the murder. What was that? Nothing, right? I mean, Ida. Other than that, we don't really know. We've got enough evidence to prove that the murderer was Satya. I only need to arrest him and get a confession. Let's check out on the cliff over there. What cliff? When did we find out about this cliff? Who is Cliff? And what is a cliff? And when's Cliff? When his wife was hospitalized, Ada turned to the light of martyrs for help, yes. That's cult belief is that self-sacrifice can grant wishes. Ida must have thought that by quitting his job and donating his house he could save his wife, yes. That's how Satya, the head priest, does it. He prays on the weak and their suffering, yes. There's a good chance those other 2 murders are linked to this as well. Huh? What's that? There he is. There is good old Satya. Satya is over. End of the line. And who are you? Detective Wakaido, please. And you're Satya, head priest of the line of martyrs, I presume. Please, I see you. It is over, you say. You have followed my steps all this way and you still don't understand? You see me now as I've worked my 3rd miracle and once again defeated death. No, you have not. You've killed someone. You've killed a 3rd person. 3rd miracle? I call that 3rd murder. You used Ida's witness to make him donate his house and buy life insurance, then you killed him. You cut off his head and showed off his body to make it look like a miracle. You needed him to die for the insurance money, didn't you? You say all that as if you knew it to be true. There are witness testimonies detailing your every move since you left the church with Ida. And the signal you draw near his body, that's to link it to your phony miracle. You instructed the lesser Grand Priest on what to say to buy yourself time after the murder. You were seen at the bar, and near Ida's apartment. And how do you explain this receipt from Cat Sand? Is this holiness into word working? What's that supposed to mean? It is a lesser Grand Priest who makes all purchases for the church. That ain't flying, look here. See this pendant with the cult symbol on it? I found it at Cat Sand near the Shelf of the Swords. It's not like the other members, there's yours. That beard, that robe and that pendant? So much for your saint costume. You made yourself one easy to remember suspect, such a. You probably used your followers to create alibis for you until now, but your luck's run out at this time. I've worked miracles. No, you haven't. What you did was kill people. Also, what miracles have you shown? You haven't saved or done anything. Even as we speak, there are lost souls out there who need to know of self-sacrifice to be saved. Spare me the sermon. You tricked all those smucks into giving you money, but it won't work on me. You foolish man who cannot believe in miracles. I will show you one right now. Ain't such a. I'm ready to sacrifice myself to save the world. Wait, stop! I am the savior. With my sacrifice, I will redeem the world. And he's going to jump off the cliff. Such a. Why didn't we fucking save him? Or, you know, go after him, arrest him, tackle him. Right after saying that, Such a jumped off the cliff. Right here. Did Such a get away? Beats me. Best I could do was getting him cornered. Shucks. I failed to get justice for Ida and I couldn't even catch the prime suspect. All I could do was look down from the cliff while cancelling my fist around Such a parent pendant. Wasn't much of a story, huh? Sorry to bore you. Now I want to head home. It was quite exciting actually, thrilling. Wait a second. What's wrong? There are a couple things about your story that don't sit right with me. Like what, for example? Why haven't they repaired this fence yet? Gramps, you're lying, aren't you? What are you talking about, Makoto? Oh, you're Makoto. Sorry, but I don't want to go home while all my doubts are still stuck in a maze. I'm Makoto Wakaido. We'll solve this mystery. Alright, let's do it, Makoto. Oh. Time to put together all I know. What is it about the story that is bugging you? Well, it's difficult to put into words. What you told me is believable. But there are a couple of weird turns. What would those be? The first one is the pendant. When you first found that pendant, what did you call it? The cult's pendant, or the golden pendant? Was it the head priest pendant called the head priest pendant even when we found it? Because, but he wouldn't have known that yet, right? Yeah, you said it was the head priest pendant. And I was right, wasn't I? You were, or rather you turned out to be. But when you just found it in the shop, you had no way of knowing who it belonged to. Yeah, granted, but what of it? The inconsistency made me realize something. I thought that maybe you were trying to set up a misdirection. What do you mean, misdirection? You know, like in mystery novels, you're leading me to an explanation that was plausible but wrong. What? It all makes more sense this way. My theory is that you were pretending to investigate. In reality, you were setting up clues. What, the grandpa did it? Why in the world would I do that? Because you already knew the truth. That's what I think. And there's one more thing about the pendant that doesn't make sense. And what's that? When you showed the pendant around when questioning people, they all responded in the same way. They said they'd never seen it, yeah. Several witnesses said they'd seen a man wearing a robe, but none of them mentioned having seen that pendant. Are you saying that the pendant didn't belong to him? I am, yes. That's not quite right either. I think that he was wearing it, but that his long beard covered it and nobody could see it. Right. Now where did you really find the pendant? Well, he found it in the general shop, but he probably found it in Ida's house. Knowing this. Ida's house? What? That's the only explanation. There's only one way you could have seen the pendant normally hidden by Sucha's beard. And that was when his head had been cut off. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so Sucha did, Ida was Sucha. And, well, Ida looked like Sucha enough that, you know, it was. Huh? So you're saying... Yes, the truth is, Sacho was murdered. Right, Sacho wasn't the culprit. Ida, who tried to pass off as the victim, was the real murderer. And... Gramps, Ida was alive the whole time. Makoto, you got something in you, something special. I'm sorry I lied to you. You're right, Ida's still alive. Will you tell me what really happened? You're too bright for my lies, champ. Remember that this happened in the 80s. Scientific investigation wasn't as precise back then. After the second cult for the murderer, the head office wanted to end things quickly without wasting time looking for suspects. When it surprised me that Light Armadas was pulling their string, those were bleak days. I ignored the brass and started investigating on my own. I set my sights on the Light Armada's head priest Satya and started following him. Just so happened that he found himself a new lamb to sacrifice. His name is Ida. The two walked together into Ida's house. I was right outside listening. All of a sudden I heard fighting. What else could I do? I broke in. Right, and so he stopped the murder of Satya. What's going on? You! Satya! You're Ida, aren't you? What happened here? I made a terrible mistake. They cut off his head. As I was finishing up the papers donated at my house, this man attacked me out of the blue, really. I fought back, lost control, and ended up strangling him. And who are you? I'm a police detective. I was following Satya. I guess this is as much following as I'm going to get done. A detective? Does that mean I'm under arrest? I don't care what happens to me, but if I go to prison, who will look after my wife? Please, won't you at least help her? Right, okay, so he helped Ida, and had Satya's murder. Tell me about the situation. Ida's story filled me with sympathy. I swore I'd help his wife, and I did so, betraying both the police and the world at large. So he dressed up. We set Satya up and made it look like Ida had been killed, while Satya was still alive. We cut off Satya's head with the salt we bought from the general shop. That's when I found the pendant. I pretend I'd found it during the investigation. Ida and I parted ways at the cliff, and after letting him go, I wrote a false report. He used insurance money to pay for his wife's medical bills for protecting their secret. Well, you did a good thing at the end of the day. So that's how it really went. I'm really sorry I tried to fool you. I've been fooling everyone for so long now. Gramps, I mean, as like a 10-year-old, if we figured this out, surely the police would. Did Mrs. Ida ever get well? She did. Her husband and I were able to see her final moments just a few days ago. They told me they were grateful for the years I afforded them. They lived there modestly, but in peace. I see. So that friend of yours from earlier must have been Ida. Can't hide anything from you, can I? Certainly can't. I figured it all out. Detective Wakaido. Yeah? The case is closed. You're under arrest. Wait, no, the statute of limitations is finished. Executioner linchpin. Makoto Wakaido's case file 1. Oh, what a great game. Thank you for all the staff that made this. We'll run through the other two in later videos. Thank you for watching if you've watched this all the way through. And remember to like, comment, or subscribe. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. See you!